Hey everyone, Comic-Con John here once again for the worst comic podcast ever. Now, September has finally arrived, and that means it's probably the end of the main 2015 wedding season, unless of course you're already starting to plan for next year's wedding, or perhaps you're planning a fall wedding so that your guests don't have to make it through lethal levels of heat. Well, I saw just the other day a picture of a superhero themed wedding cake, and that gave me an idea for a special episode of
Treat Yourself,
dedicated to wedding items. So what kind of items are we talking about? Well, I'll tell you what, you'll get a chance to see them right after this. Hey everybody, weddings are a unique opportunity for a couple to share their bond with their friends and family. And it's also a chance for them to show special areas of interest that they might have, hobbies, things like superheroes or comic books. And I got interested in this topic when I saw an article earlier this week that showed a wedding cake. And from one side, the wedding cake looked just like a totally normal wedding cake. But from the other side, it actually had a superhero theme peeking out, which I thought was pretty cool, except for the abomination of having both DC and Marvel comic characters mixed together on the same cake. That's awful. Stop it. So what I decided to do was to create a little slideshow for you showing some of the different wedding options that you might have if you're interested in a superhero themed wedding. Things like, what should the groom and the groomsmen be wearing? Wedding rings, boutonnieres, garter belts, flowers, bouquets, all those things, and of course, wedding gowns. So take a look at these items right here in this slideshow that I've created that shows you some fantastic things that you might have to treat yourself. All right, take a look. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that. One other thing I wanted to do is, as you prepare for your special day, obviously your beauty regimen becomes ever so important. So I found an item here from a company called Isshin Dehonpo from Japan, and I think the people of Japan and Treat Yourself are going to have a fantastic relationship because they make the most interesting things. Well, if you take a look here, you can see these facial masks that they have that you can get with a Captain America theme and an Iron Man theme. They come together as a two-pack for $27, and you can use those to moisturize. Now, one thing to note is that the instructions are in Japanese, but it does say that they are easy to use, and you can tell from this handy diagram which shows first a face followed by a face with the mask, and apparently you also get the armor powers with it, followed by a face that has sparkles around it and what appears to be a scar along one chin side there. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but that does look a little bit frightening. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Treat Yourself. Be sure to check out our podcast, the worst comic podcast ever, as well as our Facebook page, our Twitter and Instagram at WCPE ever, and be sure to come back next week and see what we have lined up. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.